Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Welcome to day 6 of our daily creative challenge. I'm Kathleen. I'm your host with the most for this 2-week challenge, and we are in week 2, and we're going to be working on some filters today in Photoshop. So if you're totally new to Photoshop, no worries. I'm going to take it from the beginning, and if you are more confident, we can see what kind of business you can get up to. Show me your skills. What's up, Ted? David, what's up, boy fruit? How you doing? Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday, right? Yep. Tuesday confirmed. Nor, what day is it for you? Yeah, time does fly. Kicking it old school today, Sean. Totally. Jennifer, what's up? Good to see you. Fairy, hello. Sam, always good to see you. So, like I mentioned just a moment ago, if you are new to Photoshop, you are in the right place. Let me get this popped on over here. You can join us and register for the Daily Creative Challenge super easily at behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. Boom, there you go. And you can scroll down here and get the files for every day's challenge. Nora says it's nearly Wednesday. Oh, for you, nice. What's up, Dee? Happy Tuesday. It's a good day today. Stephanie, hello. Alejandro, hello. So yesterday we did the pop-up book, and I'm gonna refresh this and see if the starter file is where it should be. My internet has been super slow today. Yep, there it is. Cindy in the house. What's up, Cindy? Amy, hello from Phoenix. Hello from San Francisco. How you doing? Featuring the chair flip. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do a chair flip. Can you imagine? Just hold on to the arms real tight, just flip. I can do that. I just don't want to do it right now. Pam says another day with Kathleen. Hooray! Another day with Pam. What's up, Chad? Okay, so if you want to get the files that I'm going to work with today, you can come here to the Add Movement challenge, click Get Started, and that's where you can download a couple just stock previews. They're nothing specific. They're just a couple different images that will help to illustrate well the challenge for today. So use whatever images you want, but there are just a couple in there if you want to try it out. On the moon, it's possible. Agreed, Nora. I'd be too scared to try and do a flip in my chair on the moon, though. I'd just fly away without a tether. Goodbye, world. Okay, what's up, Tim? How you doing? And I noticed a lot of you have already done this, but if you want to join us on Discord, you can totally do that, and that's where you can ask questions. I've been working with Sue over here, helping her out with some technical difficulties. If you want to come check out what the challenges are every day, you can come here as well. Gus posts them along with the starter files. And then if you want to post your feedback or your challenge to get feedback every day, you can come to the feedback group, click current challenge, and post your work here. Like I said, my Wi-Fi is not great today, so sorry it's loading so slowly. We've got Cindy's work for day 3, and then the updated layout. Oh, a zine about origami. Cool, about paper folding. That's awesome. So each day I think has a different origami folding technique featured, and it's kind of paired with some photographs. That's awesome. Cindy, I love it so far. We've got more work from MacMatt, Pam. Oh, very cool paper cutout. I love this, how you kind of utilize the bow, or how she's offering the tea, and you use that to make it look like she's actually moving out of the background. That's very cool. By the way, chat, are you a tea person? A coffee person? A water person? Are you one of those rare water people? You know who's a water person? Gus, the person behind the Adobe Live account, just likes water. I don't understand. This is Mia Moore. Very cool. It looks like the hand is popping out of the background. At least you can stream. Yeah, luckily my streaming computer is hardwired. That's doing fine. My laptop, it's chugging along. It's one of those days. Nora says, I'm a both person. Nice, I'm a both person as well. I'm a 1 cup of coffee kind of gal, and then the rest of the day is tea. Gotta have something warm to drink, no matter the temperature outside. Alberto says drinking water at the moment, and that does that make me a water person? I mean, we're all mostly made out of water. Aren't we all water people? Coffee and water, says Mia. Coffee and tea plain, says Clever. Ooh, nice. Sig says water in the summer, unsweetened iced tea, and coffee always. Coffee in an IV drip. Okay, so enough chitter chatter. Let's jump into Photoshop. Cool. Gonna move my computer over a little bit. Jennifer says all of the above, all the liquids. All right, I'm gonna fill my screen with Photoshop super easily by just double clicking the title up here at the top. Boom, that fills it to your screen. You can also press the plus button or click the plus button, but I think that has different functions if you're on a PC or a Mac. So I like to use the little double click method. Matt says water nowadays, used to drink a ton of coffee. Scary, Matt. Chitter chatter. Susan says wine is nice. Yes, that's true. Certain times of the day, wine is very nice. All right, so today we are working on filters, specifically to add movement to some imagery. So you'll notice that today's starter file includes the spread that we already worked on. We already finished one of the graphics for this spread on day 3. So that was on Thursday of last week, I believe. So you can pull up that working file if you want, or you can just start over and just work on the spread by itself. So I have a couple different techniques to show you with adding movement. The fill or the blur gallery and the blur filters in Photoshop are pretty awesome, and they just keep getting better. In more recent updates, they've gotten updated and are just looking real nice. So I'm going to show you 3 different techniques really quick. We've got path blur, so you can see that the blurriness is not just radiating from one point, it's kind of following an S curve. So you'll see there's a curve up here at the face, and then there's also a curve over here. So we can be really specific about how we want our blurring to move. And I also have some flash syncing going on that's supposed to mimic when you are taking a photograph and you keep the exposure or the shutter open, but you flash the flash. So you get this almost like underwater watercolory effect. Let me know, chat, if you've ever done that in real life. I love that kind of photography. It's super cool. All right, we've got another path blur, but this is more of a all-encompassing blur, just to show the movement of the people. And then we have a radial blur, and I will show you how I applied the blur to some areas and not to others. Very exciting. So let's start with the first one. I am going to make a copy of the original and just turn this off so we can just start from scratch. Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not a smart object. Hold, please. All right, I'm showing you path blur for this one, so we can just do 2 and 1. All right, so I've got my image. I'm going to delete my smart filters so I can show you how I get a smart filter. So we have our image, it is not blurred at all, and we want to add some movement to it. It's cool when it happens unintentionally. Organic motion, yes, definitely. Artistic vibes, the best kind of vibes. So we have our image, they're not moving, and notice that my image is a smart object. Now this was just automatically made a smart object when I placed it in the file. But if you want to make your image a smart object, maybe it's just a raster file or layer for now, you just right click on it, click convert to smart object, and this is going to allow us to edit our image non-destructively. Specifically with filters, we can now add a filter and then go back and edit it. Sig says, I can never get the tilt blur to work. I go to move the bars and it tips crazy. I can't seem to control it. Oh no, maybe we can check out tilt blur and I can see if I'm having the same problem as you. What's up, Darina? Good to see ya. How are you doing? So to get to the blur gallery or the blur filters, you're just going to make sure you have the correct layer selected, go up to filter, and choose your option. Choose your fighter. There are lots and lots of filters built into Photoshop, and like I mentioned, they just keep getting better and better. I think back in the day when I first started using Photoshop, it wasn't really back in the day. It wasn't that long ago, but even just a couple years ago, the filters were mostly untouched in Photoshop. And what I mean by that is a lot of people didn't use them because they weren't super customizable. The effects that they came out with weren't, I don't know, very bespoke or, like I said, very customizable. You kind of knew when an image had a filter put on it. It was kind of obvious. But now you can be really precise with it, and I will show you what I mean. So if you just want to blur over the entire image, like a Gaussian blur, you can just select that and it will bring up this simple window where you can just increase the blur and you see a preview of it in real time. Now this could be cool if you just want to blur it out so that you can put text on top of it. That's fine. I'm going to click cancel though. What do you use if you want just part of the photo blurred? I will show you, Melissa. I will show you. Do you have any suggested reading lists that our art layers can dig into to make sure that they become smart layers? In this world of Photoshop, it's just a right click and then you're a smart layer. I wish it was that easy in the real world to become a smart person. Just right click on our properties and say, I want to be smart now. All right, let's go to Blur Gallery and get a little bit more specific. So let's check out, let's do tilt shift since Sig was having a hard time with that. So tilt shift, this actually works pretty well with this image. It allows you to gain that almost like microscopic effect, like when people set up the mini dioramas and then take a photo, and it has this really great depth of field. So we can move these bars around, tilt them, move them up and down if we'd like to. I want to put the focus on the couple in the middle. Looks pretty good. And I can even increase the blurriness as we get closer to them. Perfect. So now they are in pure focus, crisp and clear, and we can increase the blur to make it even more obvious and increase the distortion as well. Cool. So this is where the smart object comes in. Say I click OK. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool, but I want to try out something else. In the past, we would have had to either undo it or we would have just been stuck with this. But now check this out. We have our smart filters and we can just double click into the blur gallery and it opens up our workspace again. All right, so now we can try something totally different. Christina says, I remember my over-edited photo edits in 2010 when I started doing Photoshop stuff. Oh my gosh, me too. You gotta blow out the highlights, increase the contrast, overexpose, increase the saturation. Oh, yikes. Jan Eric, what's up? How you doing? So let's try something else. Let's try the path blur. I was playing with this earlier because I wanted to see if I could make it look like just specific people were walking and others were not. And it looks like it is still thinks I want to do the tilt shift, but I want to do path blur, please. There we go. Took some time to think. Now with path blur, it is what it says it is. You set different paths and you decide how fast or how slow the movement is. So I could curve it. Maybe I want to move this over here. Maybe have it look like movement is moving around this couple. That's interesting. And then someone was asking how you can decide where you want it to show the blur and where you don't, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Cool, we can increase or decrease the speed. That's like warp speed right there. It almost looks like it's moving around them, like they have their own gravitational force. That's cool. It looks like it's underwater. I like that just how it is. But let's check it out. Click OK. And another beautiful thing about these smart layers and smart filters is that when it is finally applied, it takes some time to think, you can easily apply a mask to the layer. Thinking, thinking, progress, progress. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, nice. Cool, so this is what I mean. When you apply one of these smart filters, you will automatically get a layer mask attached to it. And if I click on it to focus it, it will change my foreground color to black automatically and my background color to white. So if I use a brush, I'm using just like a soft round brush. Maybe lower the opacity a little bit. I can increase the size. And I can click to reveal them, but keep everything else blurred. Maybe I'll turn down the opacity a little bit more, switch my color to white to paint the blur back in. This almost looks like someone was taking like telephoto photos of them passing through time. It's like we caught some time travelers in action. Cool. And you'll notice over here in the layers panel, our smart filter now shows us where the layer mask is applied and where it is not. So we see the little area right here where we revealed the original image, and then the white is showing where the filter is applied. What's up, Viren? Good to see you. Clarissa, you like it? It is pretty cool. I wasn't really expecting it to turn out like this. I like it. I love this kind of blue blurriness. Really does feel watery. And I also like over here on the edge of the image, some of the pixels are kind of bleeding over. Gives it that watercolor effect. Cool. So I'm going to show you one more blur effect. And I already showed you how to just apply it to certain areas, so you can see where I have masked it here. But let's just jump back into our blur filter. Double click, open on up, please. Oh, there we go. I was clicking the wrong thing. And for this one, I'm using a spin blur because this dancer has this almost circular movement, moving the arms up and the leg kind of up as well. I wanted to try a spin. I could do two paths or one path that follows that line as well. But I wanted to just try something a little different. So this is a good time to play with our motion effects, the strobe strength that gives it that still image in the middle and then shows the movement afterwards. That looks pretty cool. It almost looks like multiple exposures. You can see like 3 feet right here, and 3 legs. I dig it. We can change the blur angle. Whoa, she's like kicking her own head. It's like being a voyeur into their world, right? Like time stopped. Judith says, love that, didn't know you could work directly on the smart filter layer. Yes. Jan Eric, I would love to memorize this, but it's all a bit of a blur, I'm afraid. Ha ha ha. A bit of a blur? It's all a blur. All right, let's apply this, see how long it takes. Might take a minute, might take 15 seconds. Who knows? She looks like a bee. Interesting, Noor. I don't see it. Maybe because she has like the black suit on. And then her leg is like a wing, flapping. Flapping. Not flapping. I feel like flap is like the most non-graceful word there is. Okay. And we can apply our layer mask exactly where we want it. So make sure that your brush is black. To hide the blur, I'm gonna increase my opacity again. There we go. I'll just show you how it looks. Totally unmasked. Then we're gonna hide her leg blur since that is staying still, and I'm also gonna hide the blur on her head since her head isn't really moving. Maybe turn down the opacity a little bit. Cool. So that way we can just exaggerate motion and make images look a little bit more precise and exactly how we want. The wings, yes, I see. So I'm gonna stick with the blur number 2 because I wanted to try putting text just on top of an image, almost like the image is a texture itself. That's why I also applied this color fill to it. So it would be a little less distracting when we have the words on top, and it also helps it match with our original graphic a little bit more. So there's my finished spread. I think this is spread 4, perhaps. We'll see in a second. But if you're wondering how I got the blue effect on there, I just did a classic solid color fill layer and changed the blend mode to something that was slightly transparent, like lighten. And you'll notice that that applies it on top of everything, so that means we need to clip it to the specific layer that we want it to affect. So I'm just gonna right click, create clipping mask, and now it is clipped only to our blurred layer and our other graphic is unaffected. I'm playing Flappy Blur on Photoshop. Oh my gosh, that'd be such a good April Fool's thing if we put Flappy Bird in Photoshop. Do you hear that, Photoshop engineers? We're coming up with gold here. Cool, so let's get this exported. A full spread, it looks nice together. Oh, actually, we need to add our poetry, don't we? Always forget about the poem. Luckily, I already have it in here. So, like I said, I wanted to try adding text on top of an image really big and use the image more like a texture in the back. So here's my poem for the day. It's a haiku. Hazy morning light, a busy memory meets me and takes my hand. I'm thinking about all the times where I was out in public, walking with other people, back when it was a little bit safer, reminiscing on the good times. Very nice. Okay, let's get this saved. Let's do a quick export and get it up on Discord so I can get all of your feedback. I haven't really shown a lot of this export process, but if you do want to just get it quickly out of Photoshop, go to File, Export, and you get a bunch of different options. You can do Quick Export as PNG, and that's just going to, boom, send your image off in the PNG format, but let's do Export As, so we have a little bit more opportunity to change our dimensions. Yeah, the banana and toast and coffee tools, and then the Flappy tool. Mark says my haiku ends in take my hand too. Oh, awesome. Mark, what's yours about today? So as you can see, my image is really big because this is an 8.5 by 11 spread. So let's just go down to like 700 pixels for this export. It'll automatically change the height. Gonna get it exported. Other people? Who are they? What's up, Wade? Good to see ya. So we'll do day 6. Spread, export it. It's always good to remember where you export things. If you find yourself kind of getting lost in your files, you might just want to make a folder on your desktop. Michelle, what's up? Sean says only if you have a mask on. True that. True that. See, just like Sig. Got the mask on. It's only a paper dream. Very poetic. All right, so let's upload our image. Super duper easy in Discord. If you just go to the plus sign, navigate to your file, spread from today using the blur tool. I might mesh the two graphics together even more using the same brush texture from the clouds on the left. Just letting y'all know what I'm thinking. It's always helpful. And then we can see all of our spreads put together if I place my file in here. I think I'm missing my day 5 spread. I need to add that. But I can do that on the back end. I do like how the text is overlapping this last spread. That's awesome. Is this really live? Yes, Alejandro, you know it. Oh, no, I guess not. Those are blur filters? What did I do? Okay, so let me show you the schedule for the rest of the day so you know what else is coming up. After me, there's a lot of good stuff, especially right after me with Anna, coming in with some drawing and painting. If you're interested in children's book illustration, you will not be disappointed if you stick around right after me. Yeah, Sania, it is live. At 11:30, Claudia will be here for the Daily Creative Challenge for Illustrator, and then Jimmy will be here at noon for XD, followed by Howard for more XD with the Daily Creative Challenge. And then we will be here at 2:30 with Julia and Andrew for Design in the Dark. The end of the day streams are always a little bit more fun and experimental. Not more fun, but just experimental, I guess you would say. It's going to be really, really fun. So come back at 2:30 to check that out. Jay says, I love your zine. Oh, thank you. David said, oh, there's just a blur tool as well. Oh, you mean like the brush tool? The blur brushes? Angela, can we still participate in today's challenge even if we missed a day or two? Oh my gosh, of course. You can participate however you need to, however you want to. We're just glad that you're here. So I'm gonna pop out of here for now. Anna's coming up right after me. Please stick around for that. You will not be disappointed. And I will see you tomorrow with day 7. Excited for it. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.